Mugeni, welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. This is the Mountain Edition, and we're coming to you live from the foothills of Mount Kenya. Now, I know it doesn't look like it, but that's because, as you can expect, it's raining and it's freezing outside, so we had to take a bit of a cover. I'm here with Kimathi. Yesterday, I was baptized Gatwiri. Here's what you have to look forward to.
Tonight, Appellate Judge Sankale Ole Kantai released on bail, but he's not off the hook yet.
Plus, the BBI debate rages on.
We will not allow people to hide behind BBI while they are planting seeds of hate and division and profiling communities.
Wakenya wana haki ya kuishi katika pali popote katika pembeni ya Kenya. Lakini kama wewe unaishi, heshimu wale ambao wamepata hapo.
Politicians throw mud at each other as the church warns that they must choose their words carefully.
There is a serious need for a well-structured dialogue process before the government leads the country into a consensus on whether a referendum can be held or not.
Also tonight,
my favorite subjects are all the sciences and mathematics.
Government directive to ensure total transition to secondary schools runs into headwinds as schools warn students not to return from half-term without fees.
And Meru County ranks second after Nairobi in cancer prevalence in the country.
This is Weekend Edition with Edmond, Nyabola and Olive Burrows.
All right, welcome to NTV on the Road, the Mountain Edition. This is the second night from the Kenya School of Adventure and Leadership, like Olive said, at the foothills of the great Mount Kenya, and it's freezing, just 9 to 10 degrees, and we've had to get cover at least to keep away from the rain. But let's get to the issues tonight, and our sign language interpreter is David Agondoa. To our top story, Court of Appeal Judge Justice Sankale Ole Kantai has been released on a police bond and has been ordered to present himself yet again at the DCI headquarters on Tuesday, the 25th of February at 9 a.m.
The judge spent the night at the Muthaiga police station after hours of questioning by detectives attached to the homicide unit concerning his alleged involvement in the Tob Cohen murder case.
He was brought back to the DCI headquarters early Saturday morning for further grilling, after which he was taken to the Muthaiga police station before he was freed.
Justice Kantai was arrested mid-morning on Friday at his current home, and he is alleged to have interfered with investigations in the Tob Cohen murder, as further reports indicate that he enjoyed close relations with the main murder suspect, Sarah Wairimu. Well, the Raila Odinga-led Building Bridges Initiative countrywide rallies have resumed after a 2-week break following the death of retired President Daniel Moi.
Narok County has played host and politics of the Mau Forest, and historical land injustices dominated the discussions there as leaders of the Maasai community accused other communities of invading their land.
Yes, and that is the communities who live in the Rift Valley, and they've also alleged discrimination. Now, the leaders want parcels of land which they say were grabbed from the community and awarded to the settler communities, reallocated back to the Maasai, as well as the implementation of reports that were meant to address the injustices. Silas Apollo with more.
Nobody can stop reggae, 'cause reggae's strong. After a series of countrywide rallies to popularize the BBI report, the train was in Narok County, and Maasai leaders seized the opportunity to evoke the controversial issue of historical land injustices. The community wants parcels of land awarded to other communities in the area relocated back, like those given to Magadi Soda, Kedong land, as well as Oldonyo Ngiro Trust land.
We are happy that you and the President had a conversation about Kedong Ranch, and we are looking forward to justice being addressed in Kedong Ranch.
This is our land. We must stand firm and defend our lands and territories. Wakati ile tulinyang'anywa ile mashamba yote, ile kitu ambaye inakuja sasa, Mheshimiwa Prime Minister, ni umaskini hawa Masai.
Kajiado Governor Joseph Olelenku, who read the resolution on behalf of the leaders, say the community has a 6-point agenda which aims to address issues of shared prosperity, national ethos, rights of minorities, natural resources, ethnic antagonism, and inclusivity.
We support the empowerment of the Ma woman through the elevation of Ushanga program into an authority that will be spearheaded by a Ma woman, because that is the only resource that woman can harness.
Tuna support one mama wakue kwa hizo viti vya juu. Hatutakuwa hapa kuwasukuma, kuwatafutia Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, na wamama hawako katika hizo viti.
The leaders also want a full implementation of the Prime Minister Task Force report that called for restoration of the Mau forest, which has been encroached over the years. The renewed fight for land mirrors a campaign which had been ignited by the late William Ole Ntimama, a former Maasai Supremo who had, until his death, wanted the land that lies on the south of the Mombasa-Kisumu Railway from Konza to be returned to the Maasai people.
We don't want regional government. We want the counties to remain the way they are, and we don't want systems or other ties that will perpetuate marginalization.
Tunasema kwamba mabunge ya ugatuzi yawe huru kifedha ili devolution iende zaidi kupita headquarters.
Silas Apollo, NTV.
And staying with the BBI politics, ODM leader Raila Odinga has hit out at those trying to sabotage the BBI process, striking them with a warning and saying they would not succeed.
Odinga made his remarks at the BBI rally in Narok Town, where leaders from the Ma community rejected calls for the establishment of regional governments, saying it will entrench marginalization.
NTV's Vincent Oduor has more.
The William Ole Ntimama Stadium in Narok County played host to the BBI Regional Public Rally this weekend. ODM leader Raila Odinga, accompanied by ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi, Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula, and more than 10 governors, said the Building Bridges initiative is the solution to problems dogging Kenya.
Tunaomba, what we did not achieve in the 2010 constitution, we now must achieve through clarity in this BBI process.
Leaders from the Ma community have rejected calls for the establishment of regional governments.
We don't support the regional governments, but we support the blocks, the economic blocks, which I am the chairman of the Narok Kajiado Economic Bloc.
Other leaders present want the BBI process to expand the executive and entrench gender equality in leadership positions.
Sijaona kama Murkomen anapeana maoni yote pale yote. Sijaona bosi yake akipeana maoni pale yote. Hao wanabweka tu ndani ya kanisa na wanabweka huko kwa matanga. Kwa ajili ya 2022 ni lazima tuwe na self governance. Sisi Waluya kule ni Waluya watajitawala kule kwa Waluya. Tukienda kwa Wakikuyu, Wakikuyu wajitawale. It is unfair. Tukifika hapa kwa Wamasai, ati mnasema tena ile nyama kidogo ya Wamasai tena mgawane na watu wengine.
Tunataka viti viongezwe kule juu. Ndio makabila yale yengine kutoka maeneo yale yengine pia wapate fursa ya kuongoza wa Kenya. Kenya sio ya kabila mbili.
Leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto skipped the Narok rally, which emphasized the need to promote peace and unity. Even as politicians take charge of the regional BBI public rallies, the BBI steering committee is currently conducting validation engagement forums, taking views from stakeholders across the country. The next BBI public rally will be held in Garissa County this Sunday. Vincent Odur, NTV, in Narok County.
Meanwhile, Deputy President William Ruto has cautioned ODM leaders against using the Building Bridges initiative to propagate divisive politics and incitement against communities.
The Deputy President says that it is retrogressive and against the objective of the BBI, which is meant to unite Kenyans. The DP was speaking at Tharaka Nithi and Laikipia counties during a church service and a school empowerment program.
And he was accompanied by other leaders, including the former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary,
the ODM people who are currently pushing hate and ethnic animosity against between communities, I want to tell them that it is primitive, it is backward, it is criminal, and it is unconstitutional.
Na wewe unaendelea kujiita people's president na unasema kuna president of Kenya. Na unasema tuko safari moja. Truth be told, the issues that are being discussed now will be resisted. We shall resist. Hatutakubali division in this country. We are not going to allow any leader to take us back 15, 20 years ago.
Now, as politicians bickered, the Catholic Church is calling for sobriety on the Building Bridges initiative, I should say, and warned that a referendum risks dividing Kenyans even further.
The church says the government must first unite the country before it can begin a conversation about a referendum. Bridget Ngana reports from Nakuru.
In an extraordinary mass to commence the Lenten period for Catholic faithful at the Subukia National Shrine, the Conference of Catholic Bishops expressed their dissatisfaction with the political rhetoric surrounding the BBI popularization campaigns.
There is a serious need for a well-structured dialogue process that would bring all stakeholders together to assess all proposals and options before the government leads the country into a consensus on whether a referendum can be held or not.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, who attended the mass, reiterated that the BBI was the solution to the nation's anxiety every electioneering period.
Sioni sababu ya damu ya Mkenya awe ametoka wapi iwe itamwagika kwa sababu ya mashindano ya kisiasa. Tunaweza kushindana kisiasa, lakini tushindane kwa maono, sio kwa sababu ya kabila. Huwezi kukula kabila lako, lakini unaweza kukula maono mazuri.
But according to the Catholic Church, the country is still bleeding dry from corruption, and BBI politics are shifting attention from the real problems.
Corruption has manifested itself in lack of drugs in our hospitals, poor infrastructure, death from accidents caused by unroadworthy vehicles, lack of clean drinking water, loss of lives from famine, and lack of jobs.
Shida ambayo tuko naye, tukiona tabu, mtu anaweka kidole anasema ni yule. Kutoka leo tumeambiwa jiangalie wewe mwenyewe.
Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Well, I think that's about enough of BBI for tonight, at least.
It's been a bit too much, though.
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about Mary County, where we are. County number 12. As I said, the hashtag is Mountain Edition. Now, Mary County, unfortunately, ranks second after Nairobi in cancer prevalence in the country.
Affected families have had to walk a difficult journey in search of treatment and therapy, which has not only depleted their resources, but has also come with a huge emotional burden.
All right, now Melita Oletenges followed up on that story with us and visited a village with the highest cases of cancer in the country.
The lush green landscape of Riaki area of Meru County paints a picture of a thriving village. But herein is a community caught in an epic battle with a monster that is tearing lives apart. Henry Mbiti was diagnosed with throat cancer in October 2018, marking the beginning of an agonizing journey.
Jambo la kwanza aliwekwa stent ile ya 40K. Sasa kutoka hapo 2019 in January tukaenda Meru level 5. Mwezi wa pili akaanza chemo.
The journey has taken him to over 5 hospitals, 7 chemotherapy sessions. Family resources have been depleted in treatment and only 1 cow is left in this shed.
Mimi kisha hata apati cha kwenda hospitali.
Barely a kilometer downhill we meet Henry Michubu. His daughter Jacinta Karimi died last October, losing the battle to throat cancer.
Lakini hatukugundua kama ni kansa. Alikuwa tu akuli, anasumbuliwa kukohoa akiwa mjamzito.
The scars are still fresh. His daughter left behind a child he has to take care of. The cancer burden has left him broke and broken, he says.
Nilitumia more than $1 million. Hata kama siku anaso ilitoka tu hivi kuuza vitu.
Experts are looking for solutions.
It's something that will need a lot of manpower to be able to go back in and look at the different risk factors in that community.
The most prevalent cancer cases in Meru are breast and prostate cancers. The incidences are overwhelming.
We just launched yesterday the Empower Cancer Screening Unit, which is a walk-in facility that is mainly targeting preventive and education.
Cancer is a disease that eats from the inside and the resources from the outside. And while many families struggle to battle this monster, the assurance of a cure is uncertain, but they cling on to hope that everything will be okay someday. Melita Oletenges, NTV, in Riaki Village, Meru County.
Such an alarming state of affairs here in Meru County, and it is because of those many cases of cancer that the county government of Meru aims to set up a cancer institute to offer preventive and curative services.
And today the county held a run on Mount Kenya to raise funds towards that initiative. Joshua Makori was there.
More than 3,000 people returned for the first Mount Kenya mountain run, all for the good cause. Even though it was a competitive event for the elite athletes, this was largely a charity race aimed at raising funds towards the construction of a cancer institute here in Meru County. Host Governor Kiraitu Murungi and his Kisoma counterpart Anyang' Nyong'o took part in the 2-kilometer race.
The first ever mountain running in Meru.
We have more than 3,000 people here, all coming to help us to raise money for the Meru Cancer Institute. So I think this is a very big step towards the fight against cancer in Meru.
Ndio nimemaliza mbio kama Kipchoge Keino. Na tunangoja kuwa na mbio kama hii huko Kisumu Lake Run.
I'm supporting cancer. So I want to kick cancer out of Meru, out of Kenya, out of Africa, out of the world. Very challenging, but we have challenged the heights, and we are now looking forward to establishing the Cancer Institute. We want to thank everyone who is here for coming to be with us.
In the men's 12 kilometers race, Emmanuel Bore from Nandi County won in 46 minutes and 20 seconds. Martin Magu came in second and Dennis Kemboi third.
Ni ngumu, si ngumu kidogo, ni ngumu kwa sababu kuna mahali pa matope, kuna mahali pa maji, kuna mahali pa mlima, kuna mawe ndani, kuna msitu inapita uangalie bila unakimbia.
Purity Gitonga from Meru County won the women's race, cutting the tape in 53 minutes and 13.64 seconds. Lucy Wambui was second and she was followed by Esther Waweru in third place.
Pia imekuwa poa, nilikuwa nisha trainia hapa for 1 week
Hii mbio iko kwetu, and as I promised Meru people, hiyo pesa ingeenda nje.
The County Cancer Institute will be constructed at the Meru Level 5 Hospital. Yoshua Makori, NTV Sport, Meru County.
All right, this used to be known as the White Highlands, no?
Yes.
It did, right? So the Mau Mau warriors were up against great odds as they fought the white man in the clamor for freedom decades ago. But with their rudimentary weapons and guerrilla tactics, they staged a spirited fight that eventually pushed away the colonialists back to Europe.
And here in Meru County, warriors like General Mwariama, you remember him in your history lessons, led the battalion by holding strategy meetings in places away from the white man's reach. NTV on the road visited one such forest with the Caves of Freedom. Take a look. A few kilometers outside Meru town, along the Maua Highway, a heap of green towers above the surface. The Keiga forest is more than just a hill and vegetation, at least for the Meru people. From here, Meru Mau Mau generals Mwariama, Biamungi and Kyuku fought their beat in the chase for freedom. Okay. We navigate through the lush of napier grass to find our way to the top. In the thick of the forest, we maneuver through meanders of narrow paths used by the warriors. It is an uphill task. Finally, we get to the main attraction here. This spot in the thick of the forest with a huge rock providing a shade is referred to as Nduka in the local dialect. This is where the Mau Mau warriors held their meetings as they watched downhill to see if the invaders were coming and repel them.
Then they could lay guerrilla tactics on how to encounter them, and at the head of it, they were able to defeat the colonialists. One of the regions whereby they were wiped out very fast because of the advantage of the terrains.
Decades after the war was won, the forest remains undisturbed. Age-old indigenous trees like the famed Mugumo, Meru oak and sycamore dot the vegetation. Endangered bird species like the great Goliath heron, African hornbill and the hammercope fly freely in the Keiga ecosystem. Their flight paths weaving through a smattering of colored butterflies. You rarely see these. Inside the forest, the whistling of birds amid the deafening silence is therapeutic. Conserving this environment and the countless species of flora and fauna is a point of pride for their Meru.
The Jorincheke, according to Meru traditions, they were one of the best took one of the best conservation measures to make sure the forests are intact.
It is those efforts by Jorincheke that have ensured this ecosystem thrives, enabling streams of water to flow through the cracks on earth to major rivers here, nourishing lives downstream. Our watch has ended and it's time to journey back. The trek downhill is much easier, obviously, but who wants to walk away from this piece of heaven? Edmond, Nyabola, NTV, Meru County. That forest is beautiful, but I have to say, I am actually fit, but I need to be fitter.
And you got bit by red ants, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They went up to my head. And,
all the way?
Yeah, inside my...
I won't ask anything else.
Okay. Now, the county government of Meru is now putting in place cabro on link roads that have in the past been a menace to both residents and traders as it seeks to ease doing business in this part of the country.
Well, 6 towns have benefited so far, while construction works are ongoing in 7 more.
In an effort to keep the county's major towns dust-free, the county government has embarked on an ambitious plan to build cabro roads. The aim is to ease transportation of goods and people. This is being piloted in 6 major towns. The cabro roads also connect to the major highways. For traders, this could not have come at a better time.
Huu ni mwanzo mwema sababu tayari kile ameanza hapa ameaccomplish hii project vizuri na imechukua muda mfupi zaidi. Ukweli kabisa hii jambo hata sisi wenyewe imetutisha kwa sababu hii project haijamaliza 1 month.
In the Big 6 pilot program, the towns of Mekindori, Timao, Lare, Nchiro and Kanyakine have been upgraded already, with works ongoing at Keberechia, Kerua, Kegoshwa, Kangeta, Nkobo, and Kemongoro.
One of the things that Governor said is that you like to have dust-free towns. And over the last 2 years, actually 2.5 years now, we have a program of beautifying our towns.
The Kabro works also include waterways that control flooding.
Bwana Gavana alikuja hapa Kakoromone na akatuahidi ya kwamba hapa ataweka Burrows, kwa sababu alikuta mboga zinauziwa kwa matope mingi zaidi, na hata wakati huo alikuta hata siwenji inapitia hapo karibu na Kavenji.
The Kabro works and ongoing street lighting programs are part of a promise to have a 24-hour economy, which is a key enabler of development in this county.
Contract inasema if you don't finish the contract within the period that is specified therein, wewe utakuwa ukipigwa fine na county government ya 150,000 per week.
Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Meru County.
It's a time now to pay the bills, but when we come back, we tell you why Nation Circle members such as Edmond here will be throwing tea tonight, or is it pints? We'll tell you all that after this break.
Wow, Olive. Wow.
Dettol's main objective is to help children protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold? No! They are spread through germs on your hands. Your hands collect germs that causes diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands regularly with Dettol soap that gives the best germ protection ever against many illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Birthday party.
Birthday party.
Birthday party.
Are we not invited? We have gifts.
Malaria. Mommy, pest.
Rat.
Oh, die.
Party.
Compared to an ordinary spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Female genital mutilation is one of the worst forms of gender-based violence that is meted on girls and women worldwide. According to UNICEF, more than 200 million girls and women alive today have been cut worldwide, and 9.3 million have undergone the cut in Kenya. Another 3 million girls are at risk of undergoing the cut every year. Therefore, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta has committed to end FGM in Kenya by the year 2022. Ending FGM is the responsibility of every Kenyan. Kukomesha ukeketaji ni jukumu langu, jukumu lako na jukumu letu. Pamoja tukomeshe ukeketaji kufikia mwaka wa 2022. This message is brought to you by the Anti-FGM Board in collaboration with UNICEF Kenya.
Taking pride in constructing tomorrow's skylines. Adding strength to Kenya's landmarks. Presenting the power for specialized constructions. Cementing the nation's future. Simba Cement, the strength and pride of Kenya.
Now also produced in Nakuru and Mombasa.
If you're just tuning in, we are going to breaking news out of Washington.
This is John Kale. I'm in the White House. They've taken the building and they're holding hostages, including my daughter.
Alpha 1, do you have the target? Roger that. We're holding the president in the library.
That's the library. My little girl is counting on me right now, and I'm not going to disappear on her.
The explosive used at the Capitol was a diversion.
There's got to be a bigger play. Like what? There's only one way to find out.
Welcome back to NTV on the Road, Mountain Edition, live from the Kenya School of Adventure and Leadership at the foothills of the great Mount Kenya. It's about 5 to 10 degrees centigrade here, so please understand if we are doing a bit more of this. Let's now get back to the news. Bungoma County is the 19th to be hit by a desert locust invasion. The county government has warned residents against feasting on them as swarms take over parts of the county.
And now the reason for that, the Agriculture CEC for Bungoma has told residents, is that the defiant insects have been sprayed with different chemicals in areas they previously invaded, and so consuming them might expose them to risky diseases.
This warning comes as after reports reached his office that a number of Mount Elgon residents were planning to employ feasting as a tactic to fight the insects.
The locusts have been spotted in parts of Kimilili constituency and Mount Elgon. The government, sorry, yes, you're saying. Yeah, you have to be
Please
warned.
do not eat
it is
the
not
locusts.
just in Kenya.
Yeah.
Even in Syria, I saw they're feasting on the locusts.
That could actually
or they
be a
were
solution
if
you
they
think about
passed.
it.
Sorry, it's.
And there are concerns around Meru here that if they come, perhaps the Miraa plantations here would be affected. So.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, we're carrying a story on that tomorrow. So you definitely want to stay tuned to the Mountain Edition.
Yeah.
But the government has warned employers against withholding employee remittances to SACCOs.
The PS for Cooperatives, Ismail Ali Noor, says that the government is working on legislation to ensure employees' deductions are remitted to SACCOs.
The PS said that the government has offered punitive measures for those who breach the law. And he was speaking during that nation staff SACCO AGM I mentioned earlier. And the PS also urged mother SACCOs to ensure representation in their housing and investment SACCOs in a bid to protect the interests of their members.
The PS further urged SACCOs to invest in the youth by embracing technology. Nation Staff SACCO recorded an 18% increase in the total revenue, supported by a 40% growth in investment income in the 2019 financial year.
And the members received a dividend on share capital of 20 shillings per share and an interest on member deposits of 9%.
If you fail to remit, that is fraudulent, that is criminal, and we will come after you. I wish to encourage you to develop a youth mentorship program whereby through your facilitation, youth can learn and practice business skills.
We want to thank you for your customer loyalty. You turned out well for the SACCO. Despite the many options you have out there, we don't take it for granted.
But so the gist of the story, that Nation SACCO story, is that Edmond will be making it rain.
Party after
tonight.
party. The dividends are in and Nation staff are celebrating. Let's move on, please. And in January, Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha kicked off a door-to-door campaign to ensure that all children who sat the 2019 Kenya Certificate of Secondary School examinations transition into secondary school, whether or not their parents had the money to keep them in school.
The government pays out 22,000 shillings to schools each academic year to support families, but the remaining 53,000 shillings that parents have to cater for remains a huge burden for many. Leila Mohammed reports on the fears of missing out on education.
My favorite subjects are all the sciences and mathematics. Mathematics just keeps my mind always awake and active.
Charlene Nelima is at home for the midterm break, but buried in her books, she says she can spend hours reading.
I'd like to study medicine. All I want is to see that we have a healthy country.
That's her dream. But the reality Charlene faces is that her mother lacks the means to support her daughter through her education. Having scored 416 marks in her exams, Charlene secured a spot at Bunyore Girls' School. Her mother, who works menial jobs to make ends meet, gathered friends to raise the school fees, but that wasn't enough.
Niwaambie mimi niko tu na pesa ya uniform 22,000, lakini sina pesa ya karo. Hawakunifukuzia mtoto. So venye mtoto amekuja mid-term, mtoto amekuja na barua ambayo inasema akirudi arudi na karo.
The Jubilee dream to see over 1 million students transition from primary to secondary education might face a few challenges along the way, as some of the students are now having to take themselves back home from school because of lack of education, as the government now insists that it wants all children in this country to study and be able to take care of themselves in the future.
I really want to call upon the head teachers, because I am 100% convinced that it is not as bad as they are trying to paint it. Government is already giving you 22,000 Kenya shillings. You are not spending this money at a go. But I think that also government could also slightly redesign how it is putting this information across, so that we build a lot of confidence, particularly on the part of our head teachers, because we know for a fact that the facilities that we have are extremely stretched.
Valerie says she can't afford to keep Charlene at home either. She intends to send her back to school on Monday, and just hope for a miracle that someone somewhere will help support them someday.
When I study, I'll get more information how to prevent them.
Leila Mohammed, NTV.
So it will enable that.
32 minutes past the hour. It's time for another short break as we take a quick cup of tea, because, well, the temperature here is just unbearable. Stay with us.
Welcome to Karibu Homes Riverview. Serene, secure and scenic. Located off Mombasa Road, only 1,000 meters from KMC stage. The high-quality homes in a gated community have 24-hour security, street lighting and cable roads, Wi-Fi, borehole, standby generator, basketball courts, recreation park and ample parking. Booking is ongoing. Get yourself a better home. For more information, contact Karibu Homes Limited on 0707 151515.
To the out-of-framers, the turtleneckers, the fringe growers, you don't need to hide anymore. Try Dettol Even Tone. It cleans and helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes caused by oil, dirt and germs, giving your skin a healthy feel. Join the millions that have switched to Dettol Even Tone, now also in pomegranate fragrance, a healthier skin for an even better you. Brought to you by the Kenya Consortium of Medical and Health Professionals. Dettol, be 100% sure.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Selena! Toto, where's mommy? Today's a toilet day.
What? Oh. Selena!
Toilet day?
Tomorrow we're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
It's a toilet, not a white shirt. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with bleach and detergent, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible.
Challenge. Harpic 10X. Even if you use bleach and detergent 10 times, they won't give you the same sparkling clean toilet that Harpic 10X will give you.
Wow!
Harpic 10X. Harpic, Kenya's #1 toilet cleaner.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV Weekend Edition. This is the Mountain Edition. We're coming to you live from the School of Adventure and Leadership at the foothills of Mount Kenya. There's been excellent hosts. It's just that it's really cold, as you would expect. Well, did you make New Year resolutions this year? Have you started executing any of them? And if you looked back on all the resolutions you've made over the last few years, have any of them changed your life?
Well, for one, Penina Auma, a New Year's resolution she made in 2010 not only changed her life, but also saved it. She is a widow who traded in illicit brew for over a decade and putting the life of her children and hers in danger. Lois Wangoi with her story.
Penina Auma is in her 50s. She has settled in this 2-bedroomed house in Bondeni Estate, Uasin Gishu County. Her living room is spotlessly clean, complete with vitambayas typical of most Kenyan mothers. But her life hasn't always been this neat and put together. Before 2010, she'd earned a living brewing, selling and sipping on chang'aa, a business she'd done for 17 years.
Wakati mara ya kwanza kuingia kwa hii kijiji, niliingia kwa nyumba ya pombe. Mwenye alinikaribisha alikuwa anapiga chang'aa. Sasa nikaona hiyo kazi si mbaya. Nilikuwa na watoto wadogo.
In the beginning, business was good and she and her brood made ends meet. And then one night, death came close.
Kumbe haitakikani wekwe karibu na jiko wala taa. Nyumba ya wenyewe ikalopuka. Watoto wanalala chini. Nyumba ni rumu moja. Nyumba ya wenyewe naungua. Na ni usiku, tunachamusha usiku. Usiku saa ngapi? Saa 7. Sioni kama nitaongea sana.
Auma is a mother of 3. In her chang'aa business, she incorporated the services of her second-born child who was good in maths. The idea was for the girl to help her mother balance her books as the business grew.
Customer wako hawa wenye wana kunywa ndio watawapea. Kuja uonje hii. Siwe ndio amenihusia. Si mama yako ndiye amenihusia.
Her daughter was only 12 years old at the time.
Mtu mlevi ajui mtoto mdogo. Na ajui mtoto mkubwa. Yeye anaona akishalewa hata kama ni mtoto mdogo ni rika yake. Ataanza kumshika hapo tu.
My mom ametulea akipika chang'aa. So tulikuwa tunatoka shule, tunapata ako busy, wateja wamejaa, tunamsaidia kupima. Katika hiyo harakati ya kupima, kuna kidogo ilikuwa kibaki kwa glass na test hivyo. Ni kali but ilifika mahali nikaizoea.
Due to the early exposure, her daughter became a teenage mother and suffered alcohol addiction for 16 years.
Sasa hiyo uzoefu ilifanya singekaa na watoto wangu. Anywhere ningeenda. Hata uniite saa 6 za usiku ningeamka na niende. Juu mwili ilikuwa inataka, mwili inadai. Juu nimeizoea. Baba ya watoto singeweza kane. Hakuna kuelewana, juu mimi ni mlevi kabisa.
January 2010 came and Mama Penina Auma made one New Year resolution to quit chang'aa business. She now deals in mitumba. She had since constructed this decent 2-bedroom house where her children and grandchildren call home.
Hiyo kazi sio kazi. Wabadilike, watafute hata kuuza nyanya na masukuma ni kazi.
Her daughter is now 4 years sober and her children are her biggest cheerleaders.
Ananiuliza leo uendi? Ambia leo siendi. Na siku hizo kunywa pombe? Ambia niliacha. So vitu kama hizo zinani encourage nikuwe sober bado.
Currently, Mama Auma trades in mitumba business. Her children are now all grown and working. Her daughter, Achieng, also owns a salon here in Eldoret town. All this being the product of a decision she made in January 2010. So, what is your this year's resolution? Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Uasin Gishu.
Well, that story just goes to show you that you can always turn a new leaf.
Always. Actually, I can
For the
change
better.
because these occupational hazards, man, are not worth it sometimes, because of this kind of weather. I want to turn a new leaf in career,
And do
perhaps
what?
do something warmer.
On a balmy beach somewhere.
Enjoy my life. It's time for another break on NTV on the road. Mountain Edition, we have the sports coming up after this. Stay with us.
Molfix breathable surface developed with Airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Runner Auction Drive. Runner Auto Selection Limited, importers of selected motor vehicles, introduces 100 newly imported cars on auction. Visit our Kisumu, Eldoret and Nairobi branches and drive away with a brand new motor vehicle at the lowest prices. 27th February, Kisumu. 28th February, Eldoret. 29th February, Nairobi. We shall also be having auctions in Kisumu every Thursday starting from 20th February. For more inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0701 777 779. Runner Auto Selection. Your choice, your success. 143 Brookview presents to you the biggest deal. Buy a fully serviced 8th-acre plot at 6.85 million shillings and build your dream villa. 143 Brookview in Membley is a luxury gated community on 20 acres with serviced plots and ready house designs for selection and construction at cost. It's easily accessible through the northern bypass and is in close proximity to schools, hospitals and malls. Social amenities to include a nursery school, retail center, riverfront recreational park and a clubhouse. So book today with only 10% and get amazing fittings for your dream villa. We welcome you to our open day on 22nd and 23rd February. SMS 143 to 20409 or call 0784 143 143. Financing available from Stanbic Bank. 143 Brookview, a development by eBoss Investments Company Limited.
The Kisumu National Polytechnic invites the public for the second annual International Multidisciplinary Conference and Open Day on 27th to 28th February 2020 at the Kisumu National Polytechnic Hall. The theme is TVET's role in building sustainable blue economy. The aim of the conference is to occasion a stage for researchers, academicians, policymakers, professional bodies and students from all over the world to present their research results, network and build capacity in their various disciplines. For more details, visit our website or contact us on the numbers on your screen.
Welcome to our big family. You see, in this family, we have fun together and we look out for each other because we care. We share whatever we have. We protect and support each other. Welcome home, where we love and care for each other. We're so excited that you're joining us.
Welcome to the new member of our Nivea family. New Nivea Petroleum Jelly Essence, enriched with glycerin for long-lasting moisture and protection.
Welcome back to the NTV Weekend Edition. Now, the national government has set up a technical team to probe poor workmanship at the Isiolo International Airport following the emergence of cracks along the airport runway.
A team of experts will conduct a thorough probe, including soil analysis, and establish whether the contractor used below-par materials. The government is embarking on a process to fix the cracks and extend the 1.4-kilometer runway to over 3 kilometers to enable bigger aircraft to land at the facility.
The team is expected to give recommendations so that repair works can begin. The government says that it is committed to ensure that the facility is up and running.
The runway cost the taxpayer a whopping 3.1 billion shillings, and we are going to be adding more to that. And of course, now it's raining here, meaning it's going to be freezing even more. Now, a teacher who was lynched by a mob has been laid to rest at the Makuka village in Kitui East. Emotions ran high as mourners paid their last respects to the slain teacher, her family and her colleagues who called her a hero.
They're demanding speedy investigations and justice for Daisy Mbaluka, who taught at Ndoni Primary School in Mutito Ward. Daisy was allegedly waylaid near her home by a mob that slashed her to death before dousing her body with petrol and burning it to ashes on January the 6th, 2020.
The motive behind her murder remains a bone of contention and a mystery, and has seen officials arrest and interrogate 6 suspects, including her estranged husband Lawrence Ndolo, in connection with the heinous murder.
She was a loving mother, a caring mother. That's all that we had in life. She died like an hero. She lived an hero life. All I can say, God rest her soul in peace.
People need to repent. The community needs to repent. Humankind needs to repent, because this is so bad. I want to liken this with what is happening to teachers in northeastern and those areas. And as Kenya National Union of Teachers, we are saying a teacher deserves his or her security.
While we applaud the government vis-a-vis the security officers for bringing to book some of the suspects, we challenge the government to do all what is possible to take action within the law against the murderers, and beasts, for beasts they can only be described to be.
Our hearts go out to Daisy Mbaluka's family. Time now for sport with Ida Waringa. She is luckily in the warmth, encased in the warmth of the Nation studios. Ida, over to you.
Breastfeeding tips for new mothers. Anticipate your baby's desires. You can anticipate their needs by watching for a few telltale signs. Get comfortable while nursing. The constant squirming and moving on your part can disrupt your baby's breastfeeding.
Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Bye diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
The Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Center is an ISO-certified company leading in safe disposal of e-waste in Africa. E-waste defines all electronics that are obsolete or are overtaken by technology, e.g. phones, solar equipment, TVs, cables, microwaves, batteries, etc. They contain carcinogenic elements such as lead and phosphor powder that enter the food chain through reckless disposal of electronic equipment. Take initiative to dispose safely. Reach us on email or the numbers on your screen.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Just tuning in, we are going to breaking news out of Washington.
This is John Kale. I'm in the White House. They've taken the building and they're holding hostages, including my daughter.
Alpha 1, do you have the target? Roger that. We're holding the president in the library.
That's the library. My little girl is counting on me right now, and I'm not going to disappear on her.
The explosive used at the Capitol was a diversion.
There's gotta be a bigger play. Like what? There's only one way to find out.
NTV Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
A very good evening to you. Hoping your weekend is going well. And as Olive accurately guessed earlier, it is much warmer here in Nairobi. Well, Sports Now and KCB are up to 4th on the Kenyan Premier League table with victory over Posta Rangers in Machakos. There were also wins for AFC Leopards and Bandari, while Kariobangi Sharks and Western Steamer were involved in the only goalless match of the day. Sean Cardivellis with the details.
Kenya Commercial Bank returned to winning ways with a 3-1 win over Posta Rangers at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Enoch Agwanda scored a brace, with Michael Mutinda netting the third. Posta scored a consolation through former Ulinzi Stars striker Ezekiel Okare. The win moves KCB up to 4th in the table, while Posta Rangers are 9th. In Mombasa, Bandari put up a brilliant display en route to their 3-1 win over Mathare United at the Mbaraki Sports Club. Abdallah Hassan, William Wadri and Yemi Mwana scored the Dockers goals. The well-deserved victory moves Bandari up to 11th, while Mathare are 10th on the log. In Kisumu, Kariobangi Sharks and Western Steamer played out a drab, barren draw at the Moi Stadium. Elvis Rupia was on the score sheet twice to guide AFC Leopards to a 2-1 victory over Sofapaka at the Mumia Sports Complex. The victory lifted Ingwe to 5th on the log with 37 points, while Sofapaka dropped to 8th with 30 points. On Sunday, champions Gor Mahia travelled to Kericho to play Zoo FC, Kakamega Homeboys host Chemelil Sugar, Tusker FC clash with Wazito, and Ulinzi Stars face Kisumu All-Stars.
And for the second time in 3 months, Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa presented his nomination papers for the top of football seat in the country. Consequently, the FKF Electoral Board cleared Mwendwa to seek another term in the upcoming elections. Any opposing candidates to the incumbent did not turn up to present their papers. Earlier on in the day, aspirants seeking National Executive Committee Women Representative elective positions presented themselves and were nominated to vie. Saturday was the deadline for document submission, after which a preliminary list of candidates was published. Tuesday will see FKF's case against the sports registrar heard at the Sports Dispute Tribunal.
As you know, we've had some disruptions by the registrar, and FKF opted to go to the court to seek clarifications on a few points she's raising, because it is not necessary. To do so, we are dragging Kenya into a quagmire of elections that we do not need, because there's a clear leadership and there's clear political support.
The county elections will be on the 14th of March, and the presidential elections will be on the 27th of March.
And former 3,000 meters world youth champion Richard Kimunyan and 2010 400 meters African Championships bronze medalist Maureen Kiplagat won the first finals in the first day of the Athletics Kenya track and field events Eldoret meeting. Now, more finals in the 3,000 meters, 1,500 meters and 800 meters will be held on Sunday. Steve Kater with the details.
Baringo-based Kimunyan produced a spectacular sprint in the last 100 meters to win the 10,000 meters event in 30 minutes 29.3 seconds. Josephat Kipchirchir and Kennedy Kimtai of Uasin Gishu completed the podium places.
Planning yangu ilikuwa nifanye nianze nyuma juu sikuwa na shape mzuri, bado sijatrain mzuri.
In the second final of the day, Maureen Jelagat of Prisons clocked 1 minute and 5 seconds to win the 400-meter hurdles ahead of Brigis Jelagat of KDF and Winnie Chelagat in the second and third places respectively. Of 400 meters, record holder Helen Siombo of Police clocked 54.7 seconds to easily win and qualify for the finals of the one-lap race. Veronica Mutua and Gladys Musyoki, both of Police, completed the podium places.
Kuna furaha sana juu last year nilipata na injury championship ya Police, but now I'm healed. Naweza kimbia vizuri, nifunje rekodi yenye nilifunja. Yeah.
Sunday's 1,500 meters final is expected to be a thriller between former 800 meters champion Eunice Sum and African 1,500 meters champion Kalain Kiprop. Kiprop clocked 4 minutes 22.5 seconds to win the first heat, while Eunice won the second heat in 4 minutes 27.7 seconds.
5,000 men is we are now going to run 8 heats. You've seen 400 meters flat. We've had about 8 heats again.
Though a handful of spectators turned out, many more are expected in the Sunday's final. Reporting for NTV Sport from Eldoret, the City of Champions, I'm Steve Keter.
Thanks for that, Keter. And some rugby now, where Kabras Sugar maintained their lead at the summit of the Kenya Cup with a 52-6 thrashing of Nondis at the Bull Ring in Kakamega. Second place KCB continued their pursuit of the leaders with a 43-13 beating of visiting Menengai Oilers. Kabras are top of the log on 70 points, with KCB second on 69. Meanwhile, Mwamba kept their playoffs alive, their playoff hopes alive with a hard-fought 15-11 3-1 victory over Impala Saracens. In other results, Homeboys crushed Western Bulls 56-6. Kenya Harlequins overcame Top Rhino Crew 33-12, and Black Blood schooled Kisumu RFC 38-5.